Yeah,
Hi,
hi
sir.
Rohit. Hi.
Hi. Unfortunately, now Eros has just vanished. I mean, they had a flight to catch, but it is very good for us. It now is like a keynote address by you. We've done that. So I'll just try and introduce you, sir, because I know you maybe, but you will have to introduce yourself in a much more formalized manner for all the participants. Sandeep sir has been the topmost name in the Indian media publishing industry. He's been the ex-CEO of Indian Express, Times Internet Limited marketing head, and has wore many hats. He currently now runs a technology company wherein they work with a lot of publishers across media and help them understand monetization and also improve upon it, along with driving traffic and increasing traffic and amongst many other things that he does. So over to you, sir. It'll be nice to have a context from you on what you do and what Inaaj and Publisher Digital Lab is, and then addressing how AI and fake news are going hand in hand on, or how AI and fake news are being tackled.
How do I share this to my social handles? Should I share the direct link which I have
Yes,
opened
sir.
or counter link? Same link?
Yes, sir.
Just give me a second. I'll
Samkit?
also.
I'll give you. I'm WhatsApping you the. There is a
Yeah,
chat on
on
the chat.
private
There is a
on private chat
private
I
chat.
uploaded it.
We've
Yeah.
shared a link with you, sir.
Got it. Got it. Can I
Yes,
just
sir.
quickly share it? Uh,
Absolutely, sir.
Social
Absolutely.
handles.
Yes, sir. And in the interest of time, because Professor Shapiro took a lot of time, if you could do justice in 15-20 minutes, sir. That's another request.
Okay. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've pasted it on Facebook at least. So, hello everyone, and welcome to this conference. Uh, I think I'll straight away get into the topic of AI and fake news. Now, first we have to understand, what is fake news and how is it populated, and then the role of AI, how it kind of comes into picture. So, fake news is obviously news which is not true, but it is not just related to fake news, it's also related to um, photographs, it is related to videos, it is related to so many things wherein a previous photograph can be shown. uh, for example, the Bangalore riots which we had a couple of days back, and some kind of communal sentiment or some community is shown, doing something, and the visuals kind of uh, kind of try to infer something, and actually those visuals may not be of Bangalore from last few days, and this kind of has a lot of relevance in today's world. I mean, there are a lot of fake news which has been circulated by at least from claims of Twitter by even Donald Trump. So, how to track fake news And I think tracking fake news will be very difficult. What happens is that by the time fake news is tracked, it has kind of made some impact. I mean, like there are fact check organizations who are given doubtful URLs by Google and Facebook. And there is a new feature in WhatsApp. It shows the multiple forwards. I mean, if it is forwarded for multiple times, and there is a lens kind of icon which comes, and you can press the icon and you can kind of see the search results on the same, and you can corroborate that whether that news is correct or not. But most of the times it is the case is that by the time you are able to establish something, the news has got its impact. And AI is very useful in case of photo recognition. And I think for photo recognition, it does make a lot of sense to use AI for fake news, or if not fake news, at least irrelevant photographs and photographs which are not from that particular you know time. So I think it is are key to understand how we're going to track fake news with AI. Now, in terms of text news, I think it's probably not that easy to kind of track fake news. And fake news is not those social media fun news kind of items that this animal did this or something like that. The news is very very particular. So it is about a political situation, it is about a rally. For example, the attendance at though I think there was only one rally held by Trump in last few days was probably 6,500, whereas he claims it was 12,000 plus. And somebody may claim that the organizer of the rally got coronavirus. Somebody may claim he didn't get coronavirus. So the fake news in itself is a very difficult phenomenon to crack. But AI can help do the photo recognition. So if the photograph is from a previous period, then it can kind of really help. And I feel you know it also can detect some of the fake faces. you know uh, Basically, there are some kind of fake faces generator, or what we today know as deep fakes. So at times AI can read out this particular piece whether it is a deep fake or not. Although deep fakes, until unless they're done very very well, uh, you know uh, they can't be done so well, I mean, in such a fast period of time, and to make a lot of things look real. I mean, some of the rough deep fakes is what we've seen prop up more in pornography than in the political area. But even in the political area, we've seen a lot of these deep fakes come in and try to mislead people. uh, I think there are certain kind of keywords which fake news AI algorithms kind of capture on, and some of these keywords are more towards sensationalism or sensational keywords. You know, this happened, that happened. I mean, you might have seen all those keywords wherein a particular keyword. My apologies. So a particular keyword is making it sound like it is too good to be true, or too weird to be true. Then AI kind of recognizes that. So what happens is there are certain and some other organizations as well, and they are hinting at a set of say 200 URLs which are not looking good in Facebook ecosystem. Okay, and in this particular uh, kind of situation, these 200 or 300 URLs which are picked up by these AI algorithms are then sent to the fact check organizations, and then fact check organizations actually check it at a human level whether these fake news is I mean these URLs have fake news or they don't have fake news. So the key to understand is that uh, directly AI kind of labeling this as fake news is not easy. So that's point number one, which I want to make. Point number two, which I want to make is that AI can play a very strong role in identifying the probables. So Facebook has around 300 million pictures uploaded every day. And I bet a similar number would happen. I mean, a very big number would happen on YouTube videos and stories which are indexed on Google every day. So, how do these organizations who got a partial responsibility now of identifying fake news, how do they tackle it? Because most of the time, fake news is traveling on social media like Twitter and Facebook, and some part of it is on Instagram. So what they've done is they've built these AI algorithms wherein they are able to label, and they have seen the usual suspects in terms of handles which are sharing it, in terms of activity which has led to fake news before. And this is kind of led Twitter and Facebook on a periodic basis to remove a bulk of accounts which may be fake news farms for independent organizations or for some political organizations as well. And with these algorithms, they are able to identify the probables. Now, after identifying the probables, there are human teams. There are obviously fact checking teams, which are third party. And there are human teams within the Facebook ecosystem, within the Google ecosystem, which are trying to identify whether it is fake news. So, when the human intervention comes in, then, you know, they don't have to deal with 300 million articles or 300 million photos. They probably have to deal with 300, 400, or 1000 or 2000, 3000 pieces of content on which they are working, and they are doing a human research, and they are able to identify it's fake news or not. In spite of this, I feel the first advantage of AI is that, I mean, the top of the funnel is like 300 million, and the bottom of the funnel, wherein the human intervention comes in, could be, I mean, a factor of 100,000 less. I mean, it could be 3,000 or 300, and that's the huge, role of AI over here. And since it's a I think at some level supervised algorithm, and at some level it is unsupervised as well, because some kind of broad trends can be seen in unsupervised algorithm. And I bet they're using both algorithm. I mean, in a separate manner, but still, the final result, the final advantage which I see is that the funnel becomes much smaller. Then the other big thing which I feel AI is able to do is AI is able to connect the photograph with the photograph which was real. So until unless it's been doctored with significantly. So I think there the power of AI is amazing in terms of photo recognition. So suppose there is a set of people in a certain rally, and AI can identify thousands of people in a single photograph. And it's not just Facebook and Google AI algorithms. There are some third-party AI work which is fantastic, and which is even able to do some better work in terms of photo recognition. And they are quickly able to say, "Hey, look, this is not a 2020 image. This is a 2017 image. This is a 2018 image." So there, at least the image part of the fake news is identified in a very quick manner. So here is where I feel the first point is, there is huge amount of articles, and it's very difficult to kind of identify fake news to begin with. The second point which I've made is AI kind of reduces the funnel significantly to 100,000 X points. And in terms of photos, AI is able to make some real precise discovery and able to say, hey, look, this photograph doesn't belong to this. And then they've tied up with some companies, and there is a company called Boom Live in India who do some kind of fake news recognition work. And there's another famous site called Alt News, which kind of debunks some of this fake news which has been percolated in the country. So the key of the AI is that it's able to identify the bigger chunks far faster and convert into smaller chunks, which can go into human intervention. Photographs easily identifiable for AI, and uh, we can easily attribute it to a particular thing. Even in video, the recognition is getting better and better, but it's easier to break the video algorithm in terms of an AI recognition. Just like you see, a lot of people are able to circumvent the YouTube policies, wherein the YouTube bot is not able to recognize precisely that this is a copy. So people kind of sometimes use a mirror image or make it smaller, or use color. So they are able to beat the YouTube algorithm. Similarly, I feel that tough to track video right now. In my view, some people may say that that technology is kind of come of age, but I still feel the video is a difficult thing to crack. The problem which comes with fake news is sometimes fake news is so close, so precise, that only human intervention can identify the fake news. So this is where the AI may look a little limited, but like I said, AI is a very strong tool in terms of you know making the funnel much smaller. So the key is that uh, these AI algorithms which are trained by and getting trained every day in terms of the keywords which are being used, in terms of photos are which are being used, in terms of the handles which are percolating this. So in terms of the web pages which are kind of publishing this. So this is something which is kind of really helping. So I kind of feel that I'll be happy to take more questions because I thought this would be fireside chat. So Rohit, if you're there, I'm happy to take questions and kind of explain how AI's role is there in fake news.
So two questions. One is I don't know whether you want to comment on it. Have you started seeing that a lot of politicians are using AI and talking about AI while doing political campaigning? I mean, this
Uh,
has come from the audience. Yeah.
I've not seen many of them, but I bet there are a lot of software algorithms which they are using to track people's intent. So what happens is that the Facebook and Instagram API is closed, Twitter API is paid, and it has a free component as well. But to capture the sentiment of people on a very quick basis, I think a paid Twitter API can really analyze the data very well and kind of present it to you. What's the mood of the people, or what's the mood of the certain kind of handles. So it's not. It may or may not be fully AI driven. Politicians don't talk about it, but yes, they are using some very fancy tools which they might not even know themselves properly, but they are using some fancy tools.
Second last question, again from the audience. How can we parse the huge amount of text present in news articles? Uh, are there tools?
Can you repeat that, please?
How can we parse the huge amount of text present in news articles? I mean, analysis of a word. I think Inaaj does a lot of work there.
Yeah, see, parsing the text is easier part. I don't think parsing the text is difficult, and you can index a huge amount of data and run your algorithms pretty fast. If you've got even limited capacity of using some of these machine learning architectures. The problem is uh, in fake news and in real news, the keywords are so similar. I mean, again, let's take the example of Bangalore Riots. Okay, so the keywords are so similar. To make a qualitative judgment for an AI tool to say, "Hey, look, this is fake news," is difficult. So what AI algorithms do is they parse this text, and they parse the images, and they analyze the data, and out of, like I said, probably 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 links, they are able to say, hey, look, these 50 links look doubtful, and then those 50 links go to humans for double check. But imagine if 5 lakh links had to go to humans, so the amount of manpower you need. So AI is definitely helping in a huge manner in terms of identifying the probable suspects.
The last question, sir, Bhavin Solanki asks, are there any open source apps to check fake news video that you could recommend? I mean, are there any open source tools available that maybe you use?
See, there may be open source tools, and I feel that there are a lot of open source AI algorithms available on GitHub. But the bigger problem is not the tool in AI. See, AI exists from a long time. I think it's more a buzzword now. And there's been some really fancy and really meaningful algorithms been there for 7-8 years now in AI. But the problem is the training of data. So the training of data takes a huge amount of effort, and not just training of one kind of data. See, in unsupervised learning, it's slightly easier. So very quickly, I'll take example of unsupervised learning. It's like a hospital running tests, a very large hospital like in the Prastapolo running kind of millions of tests. And at the end of the year, you put the data in an AI unsupervised algorithm, and you are able to see that the CBC test is, which has been run far more than any other test. And all of this is becoming visual analytics, which we call as big data. So the advantage of being a Facebook is if you're getting 300 million pictures every day, your data training set is huge, and you've got the server capabilities as well. For some of our startups, I think taking millions of dollars of server cost also is a practical problem. But what I feel is that in terms of algos and open source, there is huge amount of so one thing I would like to tell everyone, until unless absolutely necessary, I think any AI algorithm you ever want has already been written, and it is available on GitHub. That's You might have to make minor tweaks, but it's there. The problem is data set and the analysis.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us time, giving us your time today. We are running late. Otherwise, there were one or two, three more questions. Maybe we could ask the audience to put it on Twitter or your Facebook handle, and then
Sure.
maybe you could. Sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.